Ba 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 bum 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 crescendo here. Boom.
Welcome back to Politics as Usual, episode 15. The long-awaited Avengers Endgame recap. You're not a Marvel fan, are you?
Huh?
You're not a Marvel fan, are you?
A what?
A Marvel fan?
No.
Okay.
We didn't want to spoil the movie for you. We about to
Because
talk
we're-
about it.
We're going full.
Okay, all right. So we good. Just wanted to make sure we weren't finna spoil the gentleman's.
You probably had a 7:30 ticket
Yeah.
in his pocket.
Alright. Like, dang it! Oh man. So yeah. Endgame finally came out. I've seen it 3 times already. Of course. I told y'all right here on this platform.
AJ, what about taking? Nah, I can't even say that with a straight face. What about taking money out the actors' pockets? I know.
Yeah. I think I read something that said Disney is expected to have 90% of ticket sales this summer at the box
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
Disney owns the movies, so yeah. As our boy Cleverly Dope has pointed out on numerous occasions, Disney owns everything. So yeah,
Sports, streaming, everything.
yeah, they own like part of Hulu,
Yeah.
which makes their beef with Netflix interesting. But yeah, so it finally came out, the culmination of at this point 11 years of
11
films.
years.
Wait, Iron Man came out in what, 07? End of 07?
No, it was 08.
Oh yeah, it was 2008.
Yeah.
So yeah, the culmination of 11 years, 22 films. Before we get too heavy into spoilers, I do want to say it was funny on the timeline yesterday, watching people talking about, yeah, you casuals that haven't seen all 22 movies, I don't know if y'all should watch this, and I'm like, you're a casual fan. You just started liking this like 3 years ago. That is funny to see people who like this came aboard, call like newer people casuals. It's like, no, y'all are.
And even if they do want to watch it, maybe they'll watch this movie
Yeah.
and say, oh, let me, because, I mean, even though, like, a lot of the things so woven into this movie, they still don't make sense. So maybe some people watch this movie and want to go back and watch the others. So,
Yeah, I mean,
big
you know,
deal.
And also, the Black Panther fans are at it again.
I missed that. What's going on?
Somebody was talking about how they Cap was wrong for bringing them through to mess up Wakanda. Like they talk about the colonizers always got them. I'm like, really? It's the most technologically advanced nation on the planet. Where else would you make
Where
your
else?
last stand against, the strongest
Plus,
galactic army, like maybe ever?
Plus, going back, I mean, like, getting off topic a bit, like, if we go back to the Fantasy War, like, what made that movie so interesting is that the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, each one of them had a major tactical flaw. Like, when you think about it. They're usually, like, they're tacticians, but when T'Challa said, open the gates and let everybody in, he thought that was the right move, but that was probably a huge tactical flaw looking back on it. So I mean, so that's the thing. Like, sure, okay, whatever, blame Cap. I mean, like T'Challa gets some blame. Everybody in that movie gets some blame. Well, Peter Quill gets the most blame, but
Yes.
everybody in that movie gets
Yes.
a piece of the blame.
I don't blame T'Challa as much because I mean they're right. If they had gotten around,
Yeah,
the city would have been destroyed anyway. So I mean, you had to do something.
yeah, he had to do something. But I mean, like in that situation, what I'm saying is there's basically no right choice. So it was going to get destroyed either way. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so my journey to watching Endgame, I said here that after they rehired James Gunn, that if a good quality bootleg surfaced, that they were not getting my money. And lo and behold, well, first a bad quality bootleg surfaced. So actually, last week, like 5 minutes of footage leaked.
Yeah.
So of course I wouldn't watch it.
Of course.
Because I'm a fiend for leaks. Of course, I'm like, yes.
Pause.
Pause.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm a fiend for information
Yeah.
ahead of a movie coming out.
Right.
So I go. I'm like, all right. leaked footage. There's one big scene. I'm like, all right. Ronnie's like, all right. So you go, I was like, nah, don't watch
it. Would have ruined it for me.
I was like, there's a goosebump scene in there that I know he would need to see. But like me, I can know the twist of the movie and be like, oh, all right, I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, like a bad quality bootleg comes out. I was at work, opened up my laptop, went to it, watching, doing my job. Then like as I'm getting off, I noticed a good quality one leaked. Gang time. So I watched the entire thing Wednesday night. And then when I got here last night, my brother was about to go to the movies. And I was like, I got the bootleg on deck, fam. Just hook it up to the TV downstairs, HDMI. You know what I mean? So that was my third watch. So I've already seen the movie 3 times.
Yeah. I've only seen it once, like, most people in America. But let's start like big picture, like no spoilers, and then slowly work into the spoilers. I'm getting hot, by the way. This light is very bright.
Extremely, and the scotch is extremely strong.
Yes.
God damn. Yeah. So yeah. It's
broad strokes. What did you think about the movie?
Pause.
I deserve that.
So for me, it's hard judging this movie on its own because it feels like this is just the second half of a movie.
Sure.
Right? Like this would kind of feel like if Avengers had stopped when they captured Loki. Right. And then we got like the second half, the infiltration of the ship and the Battle of New York. Like that to me kind of was like this. It was just obviously way long.
Right.
So I mean, on its own. And we were talking about this, like, it's time to update our top superhero movies list.
Most definitely.
It's on its own, it's top 3 for me.
Oh.
On its own, it's top 3 for me. But I still don't know if when we do our rankings if I'm going to do it together or separately.
Yeah.
Because they're hard to separate from me.
See, I'm in the same camp with you. I feel like they have to go together. They're companion pieces. I mean, way back when this was going to be known as Infinity War Part 2. And also what we talked about, this should have been named Infinity Gauntlet.
Which they changed because of Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Or Avengers Assemble.
We'll get to that. It would have been fitting. But, yeah, broad strokes, I... Don't say it. I really like this movie. The only thing I can compare it to is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. That's like the most grand scale movie I could compare it to, where you see like just a huge, like, because like I said in the group, I was sitting back at one point in the movie, I was like, how are they pulling this off?
This to me is what Justice League should have been.
Exactly.
The scale, the size, like just them fitting in. And granted, this one was easier to fit all the pieces in because more than half the cast, 60% of the principal characters were dead at the start of the movie.
Right.
So it was easier because you're basically focusing on the original 6 Avengers, Rocket, Nebula, basically. War Machine.
Yeah, but that's the result of just good storytelling right there.
Shouts to Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Shouts to Don Cheadle.
Earning checks to like Delonte West with the Cavs, just come off, shoot a few threes, and
I still, well, he mentioned that they had discussed the War Machine movie. Yeah. And
it was like, no, I'm good.
Well, no, they were like, no.
Oh, okay.
Because I would like to actually see a full-on Don Cheadle War Machine.
I guess. I'm very, like, I love Don Cheadle, but I'm indifferent when it comes to War Machine.
Well, I mean, I don't really care about War Machine. I just want to see
Don Cheadle win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me Don Cheadle. Give me Regina Hall.
Okay.
In a supporting role, like his love interest or something.
Yeah. Okay, I get with that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't say young War Machine because he wasn't a superhero before.
Right.
I mean, I might take like a roadie fighter pilot epic or something, but give me a War Machine companion piece. What was he doing like around the time of the first Avengers?
Yeah.
Like, give me that film.
Okay.
Because he wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
Like, give me that film.
Not looking like Terrence Howard,
Well, I mean the first Avengers film.
No,
not the
first Avengers film.
Yeah,
okay.
like what was he doing? Because they didn't call it.
Right.
He was like, that was a big, like he was upset about that. Like, hey,
yeah, it's like y'all should have called me because I would have came through a rent shop if y'all would have called me.
Yeah, exactly. Even though he didn't, and they both.
He most definitely did.
He had the opportunity to, but he did. But yeah, give me a good roadie piece. But yeah, the fact they pulled this off was the Russos. Just imagine if the Russos had been in control like the entire time.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're really the catalyst for the MCU because
Now, granted, Joss Whedon was probably the perfect director for the first of it.
right. But long-term plans, no, because it all started with that soft reboot of Captain America with Winter Soldier. That's where it started because they made him more contemporary, brought him into the modern day, and without the Russos starting there, like I don't think we would have had like the culmination of this universe. So they're like far important. I hope they continue. Like not that like my investment in this has waned, but I really hope they just continue with the universe.
Oh no, they said they're done.
Are they done?
They said this is their last. I think they said the only thing that they might come back for is Secret Wars.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, they said this is they dropped the mic.
Because I was already on the fence, but that confirmed it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like for me as someone who's been a fan for the entirety of this universe, like literally when going back to the moment that Nick Fury shows up at the end, and I'm like, whoa, like this might happen. Like for me, it was one of those things. It's like, okay, all right. So for it to get here, like I said in the first Avengers, the moment Hulk shows up, punches that thing in the head, and they're standing around in a circle, and Cap's telling everybody what to do. Like I never thought we'd see that.
Like, because you've heard my theory that, well, it's not really a theory, just my opinion that you can judge a comic book movie by its big comic moment, and when they're all in a circle, like assembling, like that was one at that point. Up until that point, that was one of the best comic book movie moments we've ever seen.
That for me is why Avengers has long been my number one, because you don't get moments like that. It's that moment right there. It's Civil War, the airport fight scene. It's Thor coming in with Stormbreaker, and then there's one in this that we'll get to when we get to the spoiler section. But like when you talk about like just big comic book moments, like you don't get like those, like it's ripped right off the page, and it's right there. But that moment right there where Hulk shows up, they're in a circle, and Iron Man goes, "Call it, Captain." He's telling everybody. From that moment, that's like the best. That's been the best like 20 minutes in a comic book film. Just like that whole single shot motion where they're running through, showing what everybody's doing. Because
that's the thing. Like most movies will have those cut scenes. But this movie, like you kind of get like a whole panorama of like the entire scene fighting at one time.
They're flying through. You got Iron Man flying through, dropping down to help out Cap fighting on the ground, and going back up. Oh, your man. Oh, there you go. You right behind you.
What's that?
I was gonna tell you, man left. He walked by.
They ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, that's like one of the. I never expected to get like that moment, like ever, from anywhere.
Because up until that point, there's been like a huge divide between like the directors of these movies and them understanding like the material and what people want. Basically, the people making these movies didn't read the comics that they were making, so.
Chris Nolan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Allergy season.
Yeah. Good, man.
Yeah.
The scotch gets in there.
Yeah. Take another sip to clear. Yeah. Yeah. Like it's. Or like even going back to Iron Man 2 when they showed the dots on the map where everybody is, you get that dot in Africa, you get that dot in the ocean. Which, by the way, there's a low key Namor entry in this film.
Especially wait. Okay, we'll revisit that because I totally missed that.
Yeah. Actually, because I said it last night. I said low key. There's a way to get Namor in here. Last night, and B. Will, he was like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. And then Comic Book Now tweeted, Namor's teased. And I was like, I called it.
They totally missed that.
It's a teaser. It could be a reach, but it could also be a thing. But anyway.
I like to hear that. Okay.
But yeah, Iron Man 2, you get the map. Like, even then, we didn't think this was happening. So finally, when they rush out Captain America and Thor, when you see Thor's going to get the hammer, and you see that guy run past the guns and get the bow and arrow. He's like, Barton, I'm in position.
Yeah. And
you're like,
is
that like that's how like that used to be like this like before a lot of people were watching this. Like I remember going into work like talking with my manager about that who read comics. He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, he ran past all the guns, grabbed the bow and arrow, and he's like, "This is Barton. I'm in position. Like, do you want me to take him out?" Like,
Yeah, because honestly, I was like mentioning Iron Man 2. I was shocked about the introduction of Natasha because we knew Scarlett Johansson was gonna be in the movie, but like she had some undisclosed role,
right.
And like it's revealed that she's Natasha Romanoff. So yeah,
Right,
that was cool.
Which is supposed to be Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Future Miss Invisible.
Yeah,
The Invisible Woman. I'm sorry.
yeah,
But yeah, it's when you get to the event, like we just never thought, like, because you think about it, the Avengers. The one thing that movie did great was they were never the Avengers until the very end.
until the end.
Like everything, we never got more than two of them on screen at a time before that movie.
And that's how you get that great comic book movie moment. You work for it. You like put the pieces in place, and then you work towards it.
Yeah, it took 4 years and 5 movies to get to that point, and this is 22 years of us waiting to get. 22 films and 11 years of us waiting to get to this moment, and the payoff was it was perfect.
It was perfect.
It was perfect, like in every single way. So I'm not gonna grade the movie because it's still fresh.
Yeah, I feel like I need to see it again. I will say this, like I'm still more like this movie is amazing, by the way, but I think I'm still like slightly leaning more towards Infinity War if I had to split them apart, only because Infinity War had like those little tiny moments that I just enjoyed more, and like you know me, like I actually like practical effects more so than like large CG battles. So like Infinity War when Cap catches the spear, and you know they rush in to save Wanda. Like that's one of my favorite comic book movie moments ever. Like that scene right there. So I just feel like I'm still slightly leaning Infinity War. Like if I had to break them apart, but this movie is still like everything that was built to be. So yeah.
But yeah, it's. Let's get to the spoilers, man. I'm sick of talking this.
Brief intermission, which should have been in this movie.